Hello! Today I want to go through with you approving variances on invoices as a buyer. So to see all of the invoices in your variance queue, you are going to go up to your name, go to Activity, and go to Invoices. You are then going to use the View field to select those invoices that need to be requiring my approval or pending your approval. This list will not only include invoices that are yours personally, but also invoices that require the approval of the buyer group that you are a part of. So this is a good place to go to see all of the invoices that need approval. So there's several different types that hit this queue. Mostly it's, does the price match the purchase order, right? That's a pretty simple thing. And I just want to go over some of the tips and tricks and why things end up in this queue, and then how we need to process those correctly. So a couple of examples. I have an invoice here from National Food Group, and this I helped the warehouse place. All of the pricing is right. How do I know? There's no flags here. So when you see a flag, you'll see a yellow box. I'll show you later. You can also hold your mouse over the PO line and you can see on the PO you ordered 192 cases at $26.48. You received 192 cases and the invoice here is for 192 cases at $26.48. So there's no variance here. This is simply a self-approval. I have to approve this because I placed it. I know that because I'm holding my mouse over my name and it's telling me why I'm in the approval chain. In this case, since there's no variance, we got the product, everything's good, I am just going to hit approve. The second example I have for you is one of our produce suppliers. So as you guys know, if you're participating in the National MPC program, our suppliers have a monthly pricing structure. This is the supplier that we buy our produce through. So I'm going to scroll down and you can see like tags. There's one line tag on the invoice. I'm going to scroll down and right above here it's actually going to point to which line has the issue. Now I don't even have to scroll through the whole invoice. I can actually just click this. It's going to add the filter I need and show me the exact item that I'm having issues with. Now, this is also not a price variance. As you can see, the PO is $23.54, the invoice is $23.54, we received a case, we got billed a case, everything's great. Except the UOM on the invoice is CS, and you can see the UOM on my purchase order is CASE, C-A-S-E. While they mean the same thing, Coupa doesn't know that. So it's flagging it, saying, hey, what's going on? Now, there's a couple of different things you can do here. You can just hit approve, but you're going to be hitting approve for a really long time because every time you buy this strawberry clamshell, you're going to have to approve the variance. So, what I would recommend is emailing eProcurement and seeing if they can update the unit of measure on the catalog, which is your PO unit of measure, from CASE to CS. That will prevent future variances. In this case, since this is not a price variance and I've already emailed eProcurement and asked them to change this, I'm going to scroll down and you can see I'm the last approval group. I'm in the buyer group for Blackhawk. So I'm going to say this is good and I'm going to approve it. The next example I have for you here is another one from Shamrock Foods. Now, if I scroll down, I have one line tag. I scroll down. I've already selected my filter here, and it's telling me that oranges have a price variance. So I can see this because it's saying PO line price percentage. That's the flag that Coupa has in its system to say, hey, when this is over a certain percent, you really need to look at this. In this case, the line unit price compared to the PO, so line unit price of $36.85 on the invoice, compared to the PO unit price, the PO unit price being $34.82, has a tolerance of over 5% at 29 cents. So I have a couple of different options here. One, I can approve it because I know that this price is correct and this price is wrong. If that's the case, my next move is to go to the pricing tool that we all learn how to use, and we update the price to the $36.85. That way, future invoices for this month do not end up being flagged for variance. Now, I could also do the next thing. If my invoice price is wrong and my PO price is correct, I can say, you know what, Shamrock, my supplier, you have a couple different options. You can ask AP to dispute this. I can reject it here and say, AP, please dispute. Now, if AP puts this in disputed status, through the CSP, George Towers and Shamrock will be able to modify this invoice at the lower amount, correctly charge me for my oranges, and resubmit this, and it will not go back through variance. Second option, I can call George and ask him to give me a credit note in Coupa of 29 cents. Either way, that's correcting my issue. In this particular case, we ordered it before the new pricing set in. So the PO was issued in October, and the invoice and delivery did not happen till November. Now I know from research that this is a monthly bid, meaning my pricing ended October 31st, and the new pricing started November 1st. So I checked, and my new pricing of $36.85 is already loaded. I no longer have to take action. This variance just happened to occur because of the purchase date and delivery date overlapping a bid period. So keep that in mind when you're reviewing variances. In this case, no action is needed. I'm not going to dispute it or ask for a credit. I'm just going to hit approve. The last scenario we have is Cisco. Now, because I've done my research and I know that Cisco is EDI compliant with Coupa, meaning pricing is imported into Coupa as well as invoices, I'm going to scroll down. I can see that there are 2 line tags on this. I can click. The system will automatically filter and tell me that this price does, in fact, it's about $3 more. And this flour is also quite a bit more. Now, something I can do is when I open the purchase order and I'm looking at the PO, I can see almost immediately that these are catalog items, which means the EDI is the one that enters the price and moves the price. I can go and double check to see if these are contracted items with my contract item list that I get from Corey every month. I can see what my pricing should be, and I can do what we talked about. I can either reject this and have Cisco reissue at the correct pricing, or I can email my rep and ask them for a credit note. I can also request a credit through the comments. Because I know this supplier is using the CSP and they're gonna get my comment, I can say, "Hi Phil, please issue credit for overcharge on salt and semolina." And once I add comment to supplier here, it will actually populate here at the bottom. It'll go to the supplier. As you can see, go to supplier. Phil will get this note in the morning, hopefully give me a credit. Once I get the credit, I can come in here and I can approve. To let the other people in this group know that I've contacted Phil and that we're waiting on a credit, I can also tag them. So I can say @buyers. I can see all the buyer groups here. So I definitely want to make sure I pick the right one and say hold for approval until credit is received. And I can add a private comment, and this is just internal to people here, so everyone knows what's going on and no one prematurely comes and approves this. Okay, so those are the different types. There's, I'm sure, more, but those are the basics, and that's how you get them fixed and get them processed and address them in Coupa. Hopefully this has been helpful.